Hello, everyone. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. Thanks for tuning in. If you could not forget, hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this out. Really helps out the channel. Now, we all know what happened with Viktor Bout and the trade for the WNBA star, Brittany Griner. But he just did an exclusive interview with RT, and I thought it was very interesting watching it because part of the interview he did was in English, which if you watch it, which I'll show you here, we'll play that clip. Why? It's specifically meant for you to see, meaning Viktor Bout doesn't come home to Russia and they go, yeah, do whatever interviews you want, free speech and all. So it's very orchestrated. And so if you filter it through that lens of this is like controlled media, meaning he isn't probably allowed to say whatever he wants. And this portion of the interview in English, it's designed to engender some kind of response emotionally from you. So we'll play it and you let me know what you think as soon as you watch it.
Do you hate America?
No. You know, in fact, knowing many inmates, I figure out we're sharing way more common. Maybe America is very much similar. Look, it's the same size, it's the same kind of this, and when you talk to them, there is nothing there even to beef about. We are naturally, born not to be enemies. And whenever there's conflict, it's elites. Every, American I met in a prison who is from rural area was very easy to deal with. He has no problem with Russia, and he was curious about Russia, despite all propaganda. They're losing their Christian values. They're losing their families. They're losing literally their countries. It's not anymore the same country. We knew America, who used to be a model for entire world and be an example, like they say, a shiny town on the, sparkling town on a hill. And this is, of course, pity. It was a strong country who was really a, industrial might, this one. And look, for 30, 40 years, deindustrialization, drug problem, crime waves. You can understand, and I feel more empathy to American after this experience than I would feel any hate.
What would you consider as the most important event of the years that you have spent in prison?
Which events? International?
Well, doesn't matter. Maybe international.
2014.
Oh, okay. Why?
Well, I guess, would be in history as a turning point. It's a turning point of Russia. Finally stand up on its knees. Proud, strong.
14 years ago, when if you would have known that it's going to happen with you, you're going to spend 14 years away from your family, from your motherland, would you do something differently in your life?
It's difficult to live on the callings of your heart. But if you listen in your heart, yes, sometimes you get into trouble, but you never betrayed yourself. And this inner peace gives you enough strength to go through everything. Why? Because you don't have a conflict inside of you. Doesn't matter what. You have peace and tranquility because you trust in your heart.
So initially when I watched that, I was like, yeah, this guy has a point. They did it in English, so it's easier to understand, number one. And this guy is speaking my language, like the language of the right or the conservative. But understanding this guy, best propaganda has a little grain of truth to it. Can't be immediately disproven, and it's something you don't even know is propaganda. But obviously, in my opinion, this is propaganda because it's Russian media saying this to you in English, and the design is to divide and conquer, to engender more social upheaval, because the best thing you can do as a government, if you're trying to spread propaganda in that area, which we do as well as Americans, is to divide and conquer. Let them implode. Instead of you having to do anything, they'll implode from within. And so hey, maybe we can make one side angrier at the other. And again, I do think he has a point here. But watching it, I'm thinking the Russians have a motivation when they're making this stuff. And it's to engender some kind of emotional response. And then later on in the interview, Viktor Bout speaks in Russian. And he goes on to talk about Anglo-Saxons and the fall of Western society and the 72 genders. Again, I agree with him. But let's watch this clip in Russian and think who he's talking to now. It's not necessarily to the West. It's to Russians who don't necessarily agree with Western values. And I don't really agree with a lot of the Western values that we're promoting around the world. But now he's speaking Russian to Russians. So let's take a listen.
На Западе это просто самоубийство цивилизации. И если это самоубийство не будет предотвращено, ну, хотя бы на вот территории не западного мира, да, не того мира, который контролируется англосаксами, то вся планета совершит самоубийство. Понимаете? И это идет, ну, наверное, по всем направлениям. Да? Это и наркотики, это и вот это, как по-русски говорить, LGBTQ+. Да? Вы представляете, сейчас в американских школах преподают, да, первокурсникам, 6-7-летним первоклассникам, да, что оказывается есть 72 пола. Не просто, например, там такие там геи как бы нормальные, а 70.
So if you watch that, you know, if you were Russian, put yourselves in their shoes. You know, they invaded Ukraine, morale is down because they didn't just squash Ukraine overnight. People are dying, yada yada. But if you watch that as a Russian, you're thinking, hey, I don't want to become like them. They have 72 genders. Yeah, that's insane. Like, why would I want to be more westernized? And so it kind of makes you feel like you're fighting something bigger than just, you know, invading Ukraine for the motherland, right? It makes you feel like you're fighting for something bigger. So my point is, the West is kind of handing them this propaganda, unfortunately. You know, you watch the news and half the time you're like, what? For real though, like if you take a news clip, if you take a majority of the things that are said in popular culture today and just rewind the clock 10 years ago, you haven't even heard these sentences come out of a person's mouth before. They use words like cis male, cis female. Those are made up, right? You're like, well, what are they saying? And so in the West, we're promoting this, and make no doubt about it, Russia is using it as propaganda. And it's, again, designed to make you feel a certain way. But maybe we should stop providing such propaganda, because he does have a point on some things there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.